Welcome to this new video where we are going to be creating a planter and this planter is gonna be 3D printable. So that's gonna be pretty amazing. And if you have seen the render, by the way, you know how the planter looks. So let's actually just get started. First thing first, we obviously need to add a sphere because that's just how the planter is. And I am gonna be using the mirror. By the way, I have just scaled it up, so I need to apply the scale, and I'm just gonna go into the sculpt mode, like literally just not gonna waste time. And we are gonna be using the symmetry on the x-axis, and this is the body, by the way, just in case if you are wondering. So we are gonna be using this, and I am gonna be remeshing it by pressing R and then changing the resolution, and then just press Ctrl R to remesh it. We basically can get something like this. Now, we're gonna have to start sculpting so that we can actually create the giraffe because that's what we are creating. And we are also gonna be using a whole lot of clay strip brush to actually create the whole. So this is the part where we are gonna be planting the plant. Yeah, this is where we are gonna be planting it, and I am gonna be creating a volume for the neck. And this is not a sculpting tutorial, by the way. This is actually just me chilling out and creating a planter. So I'm just showing you the process, and just put it like this. I think this big should actually be good enough, right? I think it should be. Now let's actually increase the size by using the inflate. And let's actually just pull out the face. So this is what we have, and we are just gonna be wait. It is kind of looking like a duck right now, but I think we are gonna be converting it into a giraffe and not a duck. So in order to do that, you've seen the render, right? If you have seen the render in the thumbnail, then you know we'll be able to create it. And if I don't post it, then I'll know that I would not be able to create it. So first thing first, I'm gonna have to lower down the next radius because the radius is supposed to be it should be in control, and I am just trying to do my best so that I can actually create a nice looking planter. And I could have actually gone live, by the way, in order to do this, but I think it's okay. So first thing first, I am gonna make sure that all of the bigger shapes are actually good enough. And let me just create a sharper line over here. So I am gonna go into the draw sharp and just create a sharper line like this. I think I need to lower down the scale, not scale, but the strength. So I am just gonna do that. And now I wanna flatten this part out. So in order to do that, there are multiple ways of doing it, by the way, just in case if you're wondering. If you were to go over here and then you can see line project, you can use this, and now you're gonna see that we basically get the same thing. We just have to remesh it, otherwise the polygons are gonna be pretty tight together and it is just not gonna look good. Now what I can do, I can basically create, sorry, not mask, I wanted to use the mask brush. I can create a mask, invert it, and now I can push it down, and in order to push it down I can just use the move brush. Is it a brush, by the way? Move tool. I think saying it a tool is gonna be better. Now I basically wanna create an illusion of legs, and in order to do that, I'm gonna go into the sharper follow and then just push it in. By the way, you must be thinking why I am creating a planter all of a sudden from portraits and all the cool stuff. This is cool as well, right? You cannot deny the fact that this is not cool. The reason that I'm doing it is because I really wanna print some cool looking planters, and I am gonna show you the website where I am gonna be uploading it for free, so you can actually download it for free. And if you wanna support me, let's just say that you do wanna support me, then I have multiple products in that website that you can buy, and you can also get something in return. By the way, you're not just donating me for free, you can literally buy stuff and print them yourself. So this is also gonna be 3D printable, and we are actually using Blender as we always do. to create all those 3D printable stuff. So we have this and we have kind of created the legs. I'm not really going to fix the legs right now because I think there are bigger problems that we need to face. I mean, not face, but fix. So I am going to do that. And that bigger problem is making the giraffe look like a giraffe and not a dinosaur. Literally, it is looking like a dinosaur right now. Let's just do something like this. And I want to make sure that, like, 2 ears, giraffe have two long ears. I want to have those ears. So I'm going to push it down a little bit first. And then I'm going to mask it. So in order to mask, obviously, I can just press M and then I can select the mask brush. Let me increase the strength. So yeah, I can extract it from here. Now I can just use the grab brush and let's just put the follow back to smooth and then like do this. Yeah. Okay, I think it is a bit too long. Let me push it down. And I think this is gonna work. Let me increase the resolution a little bit so that I basically can get a little bit of, resolution and control. Now I need to inflate the ears a little bit. So I'm just gonna do that. Let me increase the strength actually. And I am also gonna be decreasing the strength because I wanna make sure that the ears actually look thinner from the bottom and thicker from the top. So this is what we have. And yeah, I think the ears are looking okay. I need to push them back a little bit, just a little bit back. And let's just do something like this to make them a little bit rounder. And let's actually make them rounder from all the sides. So I am just gonna do that and I'm just gonna do that. And now from the side view, I'm just gonna do the same thing. Cool. Let's see. From the top, obviously you're gonna have this is the reason why you need to always look at your sculpt from every angle, by the way. So from the top, we also need to do the same, and we're just gonna do that. Okay. And this particular area, we're gonna have to fix this with clay strip brush. So I'm just gonna do that. And okay. By the way, I could have used the like spheres and stuff to actually create a base mesh. I think that would have been a little bit faster and easier. But I really like sculpting and I really like to, approach stuff while I am sculpting. So that's why I'm actually doing it this way. And in this case, I think the head is a little bit too big. So I'm just going to push it back. And let's see. I think I can push up the neck a little bit because obviously it's a giraffe. So actually, do you know what big without instead of using the grab brush, let's actually use the box mask and let's invert it and then just use the move brush to navigate. So I can just like put it over here and now we can remesh it to fix this particular area. Wait. So yeah, we are gonna fix this. Now let's see if the proportion is looking okay or not. I think the proportions are okay. I can now just start fixing some of the curves. For example, if there is any part, for example, in this particular case, the curves were not looking that good. So I am just going to be trying and fix that. Also, we need to like create a hole here, but I'm just going to do that later. Let's just try and fix all of this stuff. For example, I want everything to be like super nice looking. And by nice, I meant to say all of these curves like all these curves, let me draw it for you. So this curve, for example, and this curve, they need to look like super smooth. And that's what I'm actually going to try and do. Okay. It's just looking nice. I think it is looking nice. I have like this particular part. We can actually switch to the sharper follow, by the way, for this particular situation. And let's see, I want to create this as round as I possibly can. And you can see we have a little bit of dent over here. So I need to fix this dent. I can actually remove some of the volume like this to make it a little bit roundier. And we have this. So let's see, we can actually push this particular part inside like this. And now we can get a really nice looking curve. Let's see if we basically get this curve everywhere. For example, I can push this particular part out a little bit. And yeah, I think this is looking nice. I know it is a simple object, by the way, but still it needs to look quite nice. So now we basically have ruined this. So we need to, get back to this area again. And I am just gonna be using the draw brush to sharpen this particular part out. I am not really like using the crease brush. You can if you want to, it doesn't really matter. Whichever brush you prefer, it is totally up to you. And in this particular case, I am gonna be using the draw brush on the less strength. And now we are actually, it is looking okay. Let me just smooth it out. And what I wanna do, I basically wanna clip this part again because I feel like I can like do a better job. So I'm just going to use the line project and I am just going to clip this part. So we basically have this. Let me just do the rematch and let me smooth this out. So let me just smooth it out. So the reason that I've done that is I basically want to like create a mask again, and I want to like create the legs again basically because those legs were not really looking that good. And where is it? So I'm just going to mask it again like this, invert it. And now I'm just gonna like use the move to push it down. And let's do one thing actually. Let's actually mask this particular part if I can. And now we are gonna go into the scale and let's just do this. And now we need to push it down to like match this particular part. The reason I did that is to flatten this part out. As you can see, this part is now flat. So that was the reason. And now we can actually just remove the mask and just select any of the brush and just press Ctrl R to create the legs. And they're looking pretty good. We are gonna now scrap these parts so that they become a little bit smoother now. So yes, this is actually the process. The sculpting is pretty easy. It's not really that big of a deal. And I am just gonna be smoothing this part out. You can also use the smooth brush by the way. So it is totally up to you. You can either use the scrap only or the like scrape only or the smooth brush. So totally up to you. And we have this. So we basically have everything. I mean, in terms of bigger shapes, the stuff that we need to do, like the stuff that we need to add is maybe a little bit of volume in the booty. Yeah, everyone loves that. So why not? Okay. After that, we can actually, it is looking okay. I can increase the size of the base actually. I feel like this part is a little bit smaller. So I'm just gonna do that. I'll just go over here, box mask. And if you were to go to the mask, by the way, you can smooth mask. So like just smooth the mask once. Where is it? Smooth mask and then press Shift R. And it is just going to smooth the mask. And there's one more tip that I wanna like show you. If you were to go into the object mode and then press full stop and put your 3D cursor to pivot, like the pivot to 3D cursor. I'm not saying that right. And then if you were to go into your scale or transform, for example, you can just press shift and then right click to place your 3D cursor. And you can see we basically get this. And now if you were to scale it, by the way, you can see 3D cursor is going to be the pivot. So this is something that you can do. And in this case, we're gonna do the scale, maybe not that much. Wait. So I'm just gonna do that. And okay, so the problem is the 3D cursor is not on the like center. So let's go over here and let's see. So on the x-axis, we need to put the 3D cursor at 0, obviously. And now if you were to scale it, you can see it is scaling at the right place. And now we need to just move it to the place. I guess we need to like fix the neck a little bit. Wait, let me just do it again. I don't think that I've done the good job. So I am going to scale it up and then I'm going to push it up. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. We're gonna have to fix it, but it's okay. It's part of the process, right? So let's just go to the clay strip and then I'm just gonna start smoothing it out. By the way, I also need to remesh it because whenever you do something like this, remeshing basically resets the polygon and it just get easier to do all the fixes. So I am gonna try and fix all these curves and I'm gonna make sure that all these curves are as smooth as I possibly can make them. For example, in this case, you can see this curve is not right, so I'm just gonna like try and fix it. Basically trying to create these curves as smooth as I possibly can. Now, I think this can go a little bit up and this can go a little bit back. Okay. And this curve is definitely not good. We need to push it out. And let's see from the back. Yeah, I think the proportions are definitely a little bit better. Maybe I can like increase the length of this a little bit. So let's try and do that. Let's actually just go to the box mask and mask this and then smooth mask and then shift R to smooth the mask. And then we can again use the, where is it, move and then just push it down a little bit, I guess. Okay, let's see how it is looking. Yeah, I think it is looking okay in my opinion. We need to fix the curves that we have just destroyed. So yes, let's actually increase the volume around here and volume around here. But yeah, other than that, I think it is looking pretty nice. And let's see. So this part is a little bit flat. I need to push it out a little bit. Actually, I can just go to the clay strip and decrease the, where is it? Increase the tip roundness. And you can see what we get. And now decreasing the strength, I can basically use this brush to increase the volume. And this is just gonna help us. Okay, you can see this part is a little bit flat, so I need to push it out. So right now I'm just looking at the curves and trying to make sure that, for example, in this particular area, that all of these parts are round and smooth. I guess this is looking okay. We can actually continue doing the work now. So we need to remove this particular part. Obviously, we have not created the tail and the eyes and the ears, but we can actually do you know what? Let's do that first. Let's create the ears. And for the ears, what I'll do, I'll actually just mask this particular part. So let me just mask it. Let's see. So this is where I want the ears approximately. I think it is a little bit too. Hmm, I think this ears is looking okay. So now what I'll do, I'll actually just invert it and I can push it out. I am thinking actually like how should I proceed this? Or maybe I can draw a face set around here. And now what I can do, I can actually go over here to the face set and extract the face set. So there is an option called extract. Let me find it. Extract face set. There it is. So now we have the face set and we can actually just go into the thickness and increase the thickness in the negative direction. And yeah, we can actually just start go into the command group, just go into the sculpt mode and start. Okay, this didn't turn out to be nice. Let's actually go to the clay. I mean, why is it not like working? Let me just undo it and let's see whether I think it's because of the geometry. Obviously, we're gonna have to apply it. I am so dumb, like I'm like super dumb. We're gonna have to apply it, and then yep, now it is gonna work. Things like this could happen, and especially to me, especially to someone who's like who don't really use his brain as much. So now we need to uh, like create the ears from it, and let's just push it to the, okay, wait, the ears are obviously going to be round, and I guess we're gonna be like pushing it in to make it a little bit rounder. And let's just try and do that. So obviously we have all seen how the ears are supposed to look like, and this is not going to be the human ear. Obviously, this is gonna be more of a more of an animal ear, but with the stylization. So I can actually use the inflate for this. Wait, I think inflate is gonna do the job a little bit faster. So I'm just gonna try and do that. And I think I've pushed it in a little bit too much. But this is what we have, and we're gonna have to refine the ears a little bit. So I'm just going to use the grab brush. One thing that I wanna say is that don't make the ears a bit too thin, otherwise it's gonna be harder for you to 3D print them. And because the purpose of creating this whole project is to 3D print this, I don't really want you to make it a little bit thinner so that you won't be able to 3D print it, because that's the whole point. And I guess the ears are also done. I can just leave it around here, and I can actually just increase the resolution and smooth this out. So in order to smooth it out, I can like do this. Other than that, I think ears are done and they are looking good. I can like fix it a little bit like this, but other than that, I think the ears are done. Now we need the tail. So for the tail is going to be asymmetrical, obviously. And let's use the mask or maybe the face set. Actually, let me think. I think face set is again going to work. Let me just use the face set. And let's see. So, oh, wait, oh, I'm telling you guys, I am like kind of dumb. So I had to like select this and go into the sculpt mode. Now we are using the face sets. It's gonna start from the center, obviously. I am just trying to think. Let's try and do that. I think it's a bit too long. Let's try it again. Maybe, maybe a little bit longer actually. Oh, one thing that I wanna say is whenever you like try to paint face set on top of another face set, it is always gonna try and paint a different face set. But if you wanna continue this face set, just hold down control. So just hold control and you can like continue painting it. In this case, I am just going to remove it. By the way, this white is also a face set. So if you were to hold down control, you can remove it. If you were to hold down control, you can just redraw it. So this is something that you can do. And let's try and create a tail right here. Okay, I think this one is gonna work. And I'm going to extract it. So face set, extract, and I'm just going to do that. Now let's increase the width. Maybe this much is gonna be fine. I'm going to apply it and then go into the sculpt mode. So let's just do the remeshing and okay, so for some reason it is not working as nicely. Okay, now it is working. I don't know why it didn't work quite well at the first time. But yeah, we need to make sure that there is no gap in between, by the way, because when you'll be printing it, it's just not gonna look, it's gonna give you some hard time while printing, and we don't want that. So that's why I am just trying to make sure that it just does not have any gaps. Now we need to fix the shape. For example, you can like create something like this, nice little tail, and there is still gap here, so I'm just going to push it in. And in order to make this tail look better, I am going to use the inflate and give a little bit of mass to it. So like I can do this, and let's give a little bit of mass over here. Okay, now let's just push it in a little bit. I guess we can actually, instead of the straight tail, we can do something like this. And yeah, this is gonna look better actually. Instead of the straight tail, we can like add a little bit of this roundness going on, and this is gonna look a little bit better. I am going to select the smooth, and I'm going to decrease the strength because smooth is actually smoothing out a little bit too much. Now we can actually try and maybe do something with the tail a little bit more. So let's actually just increase the resolution a little bit, and let's smooth it out obviously first. And then we can actually make a little bit of hairs here. So let's try and use the draw shaft for this. And maybe we'll do, okay, so the strength is a little bit low. I'm going to increase the strength to something like this. And okay, I am just going to try and create some sort of air kind of a feel. I think this is going to work, in the end, these details are actually pretty small. So I think this much amount of hairs are still going to work. I am going to make them a little bit sharper. So I'm going to decrease the strength and then just going to do this in negative. Yeah, this is actually much better now. Wait, let me redo this one and cool. Okay, so sometimes obviously the process is a little bit repetitive and I am gonna get like silent in that process. So just realize that I'm doing something repetitive and for that reason I am kind of going silent. Okay, so now we basically have almost everything. I am seeing a dent over here, so let me just fix that. By the way, you can switch to a different matte caps. For example, if you were to switch to, let's just say something shinier, maybe something like this, you can like see the reflection is bending inwards. Okay, I think it's fine. I feel like that we are actually done with the modeling, almost done, not obviously entirely. We have to create a hole so that we can easily 3D print it and plant a tree, not a tree, but a plant. Plant a plant. That is a weird sentence, but I'm gonna take it. Let me smooth this out because this is like getting a little bit roundier, and I need to flatten this part out. So I'm going to use the screen brush and then use that. Maybe use the flat actually. Let's try flat. Maybe this is gonna work better. In the end, I think it is better to just cut this part off. So let me just try and do that. I'm gonna do okay. Let's just go over here, box trim, and I'm going to trim this part so that we basically get a flatter surface beneath. Cool. As you can see now, what we can do, we can actually just mask this part. By the way, you can press H in order to isolate the face set and then press Control I, and Control I is going to mask everything. Now if you were to press Alt H, you can see everything else is not masked and only this part is masked. So now you can press Control I and now you can see that this part is masked. So now what you can do, you can actually go over here to the move and then just push it in. So you basically can just increase the length of the feet here, if you can say feet or legs or whatever. This is the base, and now you can see we have a longer kind of a feet. Now you can just press Control R to remesh it, and if you want to, you can actually just smooth this part out. Let me increase the smooth strength. Okay, wait. Yeah, just a little bit. Try not to do something like this, otherwise the base is gonna get ruined again, and we don't want that obviously. So, yep. Okay, so after smoothing this out, which is gonna happen in like a second, we can, let's see what we can do now. We can actually create the eyes and the nose. Giraffe basically have a nose that is white, right? So we're gonna have to do that. And in order to do that, we can like use the face sets in this particular case actually. So I can go over here or maybe draw a face set like this. but it is just going to create a straight line, which I don't want. So let's just use the draw face set, and then we are just going to try and draw face set real nice and clean. And let's try and do this. Okay, is it gonna work? I think the angle is a bit too much. Let's try and do the same thing over here. Oh wait, the symmetry is not on. Oh yeah, I think I forgotten to enable the symmetry because I was working on the tail. So let's just enable the symmetry. Do you know what? Before I do that, let me just do something like this. Because I felt like it was not round enough, and I really want to make sure that the bigger shapes are like good enough. And right now the bigger shapes are not good enough, so I am just gonna try and make sure that all of these bigger shapes that I'm working on right now, they are actually good enough before we start working on the details. So yes, I am just gonna do that. Let's see. Okay. I think the profile is looking okay now. We can actually start painting it again. So where is it? Draw face set. And let's actually try and draw it again. Let's just do it from here. Okay, yeah, it is looking okay. Let's actually just fill it now. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Cool. Now let's just spread it, obviously. And now we have this. So we want to make sure that we create a line where the border is. And in order to do that, you just need to go to the face set, edit face set, and then go into the setting. And then you can see we have, where is it? Maybe it's in mesh filter. Oh yeah, there it is. It is in the mesh filter. I thought it is going to be in the edit face set, but it is in the mesh filter. You can see that we have a setting called relax face set, and we are gonna use that to do this. Okay, so now we have this sharp line. What we can do, we can actually just use the crease brush and basically try and trace this line. So let's just go over here to the crease brush, and we're gonna try and trace this line. Actually, do you know what? For this purpose only, we can use the dynamic topology. I think this is gonna work so much more better. And we basically don't have our line anymore. But if you were to go into your wireframe, like over here, go into a wireframe, you're gonna realize that we have this line. So you can clearly see we still have this line, but yeah, now we just need to trace it. So you can like do this, and we basically can create this sharper line. So I'll just gonna try and trace this line now. Let me, you know what, let me just increase the resolution. So let's just try it. Okay. So we have this going on, and now we can actually just increase the size of the brush maybe a little bit, and then I can actually just do that. Okay, so we have this line and it is looking pretty nice actually. So because we want to create the eyes and the nose, I think I am going to just stay with the dynamic topology one, and we're going to just start creating the nose. So for the nose, I think I can do this, and this is pretty much it. The nose is just going to look like this. And yeah, I think it is looking okay. Maybe we can make the nose a little bit up. I think that is gonna make a little bit more sense. So I am gonna try and do the same thing that I've just did over here. Yeah, I think this position of this nose is a little bit better, and I am going to smooth this out. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit better. Now we want to create the eyes. So for the eyes, I am just gonna do the same thing, and let's try and create the eye around over here. So Yeah, I think it is looking okay. I am actually quite happy with how the eyes are looking. Let's see from the side view. I think the curvature could have been a little bit better, so I'm just going to adjust the curve with the grab brush. And yeah, I think it is definitely looking pretty nice. I am happy with it. So let's just continue doing it. This time using the draw brush. Pause. Wait, I think perpendicular is gonna work a little bit better, right? So I'm just gonna do that. And I think dynamic topology is not working with this brush, so I'm gonna have to use the crease brush. Okay, so this is what we have. We still have to create patches, by the way, but that's gonna be pretty simple to do. But before that, we can actually just start removing this particular part. And in order to do that, by the way, we can actually just create a face set. So let me just go over here, edit face set, not edit, but draw face set. Let's just remove the dynamic topology because we don't need it. And also let me remove the wireframe. So yeah, that's what we want basically. And now we actually just want this to be like this. Okay, so the idea is we want to create a hole where we can actually just plant stuff. And that hole is going to be a little bit inside. So I am going to try and achieve that. Okay, I think it is a bit too above in this area. So I'm just going to try and remove it. So this video is definitely a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but I guess I can actually do it in two like do it in like two parts. Yep, that's what I was about to say, but I kind of forgot to I kind of forgot the word two, and the parts. So we have this going on, and now we can actually do the same thing. We can do the relaxed phase, and this is what we have. I am going to just keep on relaxing it until I feel like that I have of the enough of these. What do you call it? Like smoother lines, and now we can actually just with the grab brush make it a little bit smoother. So I am just gonna do that, just making it a little bit smoother. And let's just do it again, go to the mesh filter and smooth it out again. So we have this, and it is actually pretty fine. Now we are going to go into the face set and we are going to extract the face set. So where is it? Actually, let's just select the face and then maybe we'll get the option. Now we are basically going to be using this as a boolean. So I'm going to remove the solidify. I am going to select everything, push it up, and then go look at it from the side view and then just extrude it on the Z axis. Scale it on the Z axis, by the way. So scale it on the Z axis like this, and then just do that. And we have ruined it. We have ruined this. Wait, how did we manage to do that? Can someone explain me what? For some reason, this part actually have been ruined, so we're gonna have to fix it now. And this is actually kind of annoying. I don't know why that actually have happened. But I guess we're gonna have to fix it now. So I am going to just trim this part up. I guess like this. We don't really need this part, and we're gonna have to extrude it. So we have the face set which we are going to select. Press Control I, and now we are going to invert the face set, and let's just go over here to the move and just push it down. So this is what we have. By the way, I really didn't had any idea that I'm gonna be doing it again. So let me just hide the bottom area so that I can like smooth it out from there. Oh, there is one more thing that we can actually try and do, and that thing is we can actually mask this area. So if I were to go over here and mask this part, and then press Control I, we can actually go into the mask filter, not the mask filter, but the mesh filter. And then let's just go to the, where is it, sharpen. Let's try sharpening it. So, yep, you can see we can actually sharpen this part out. So we have this now, and we can unhide it. So we basically get the same, like the sharpness pretty easily. So that's pretty nice. We can actually go to the draw sharp and just sharpen it again. So by the way, I'm gonna be fixing it behind the scene. You know the process. So I think it's not really wise to do it right now because the video is just gonna get longer. But trust me, I'm gonna be fixing it later. So don't you worry about it. But what I wanted to show you is I am basically going to use this to create a hole. So I'm going to remove the solidify modifier. I'm going to extrude it to the Z axis like this. We're going to have to flatten this part out. So I'm just going to press SZ0 to flatten this part out. And now I'm just going to push it around here. We basically need some thickness so that it does not break easily. And because of that, we are going to be giving the thickness to this much amount of thickness basically. So one thing that you can see is this part is coming out, and what we need to do is we actually need to just go over here and then just scale it down like this. So the thickness from the bottom is like this much amount of thick, maybe a little bit more thicker, so that this thickness is actually good enough that our pot does not break. And now what you can do, you can actually just add a edge loop and basically do something like this. And you can like do this. So yeah. And now all thing that is left to do is to do a remesh. But before I do that, I'm gonna go into the sculpt mode and then I'm just going to remesh it. The reason that I'm remeshing it is so that I basically can get a nice looking object. Okay, one thing we can do, we can actually do the symmetry so that this part on the negative x can be symmetrized on the positive x. So what we can do, we can actually go over to the symmetry, if I can actually find it. Okay, there it is. And then from the negative to the positive, as you can see, we can symmetrize, and we basically have fixed this area. Now we can use the boolean to do the whole. So we can actually go over here, boolean. The difference is going to be the method, and then we can just select it. You can use either the fast or the exact solver. In this case, the exact solver is, I think, working. As you can see, it is working. So I'm just going to use that, and I'm just going to apply it. By the way, save the file before you do all the applying stuff, because in the end, you're gonna be you're not gonna be able to go back. So that is actually kind of important. Now what you can do, you can actually smoothen this particular part out, and I'm just gonna do that. Nice, nice, nice. So we basically have a hole where we can actually plant stuff. If you want to actually do, you know what, you can like do a smooth like this. I think it is gonna just be a little bit better. It was, I think, a little bit too sharp. So maybe smoothing it out is just gonna, look a bit better. Now we are actually gonna be creating all the patches that the giraffe have. So in order to do that, the easiest way to do it is to just use the face sets and just draw these patches out. So I'm just gonna do that. And in order to do that, I'm gonna have to remove the dynamic topology. So I'm just going to remove it. And remember that you cannot remesh now. So that is something that you actually need to remember. And I'm just going to create these patches, by the way. So for example, I'm going to create one over here, and just keep on adding the patches like this. Maybe remove the symmetry in the middle so that it does not symmetrize and it looks kind of okay. And yeah, this is what I'm going to do. As you can see that I am basically just doing everything randomly right now. Okay, so for the side, you can obviously just enable the symmetry. And these patches, they don't really need to be super nice. They just need to be random enough. And I think it should just work fine. Okay, let's actually remove the symmetry for this part. And yeah, we basically have the patches. Now what we want to do, we actually want to Okay, one more thing that I wanna do before I do it is I wanna hide this part, and I'm just going to create a face set from mask. Sorry, not hide. I said hide. I actually wanted to say mask this part. Okay. Now we have all this stuff going on. So what we can do, we can actually just select this. So let's just say you wanna hide one particular face set. You need to select Shift H. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So Shift H. Now we have this going on. So and I'm going to create a face set from visible so that all the patches are just going to be one single face set. Now we wanna come back, like press Alt H, select maybe these face sets. So Control I, Alt H, Control I. So we have these face sets, and now we can actually go to the mesh filter and then just go over here and relax the face set. So we basically, okay, not that much relax. Let's just do a little bit of it. Okay, so now we have this. In order to create the patches from these, what we need to do, we need to go to the face set and then extract face set. So we have these. And now we are just going to select these and let's increase the thickness, by the way, in the negative direction so that they come out instead of going in. And as you can see, they are coming out. Now we are going to apply it. So let's just do that. And we need to smooth this out. So what we can do, we can actually just decrease the resolution to something like this and remesh it. And maybe we can actually try to smooth it now. So if I were to go into the mesh filter and you can see, we can go to the smooth. And yeah, I think it is looking nice. Yeah, it is definitely looking okay. One thing we can do is we can actually use inflate so that we basically can get something like this. And then we can remesh it again. I basically want to make sure that the surface is a little bit smoother. Right now it is not smooth. So let's actually increase the resolution in the remesh. Maybe, let's just divide it by 2 from here. And basically the idea is to, get as smooth of a surface as I possibly can. So that's what the idea is right now. And yeah, I think it is looking okay. We are actually good. Okay, so the modeling is done. I'm not gonna lie. I think the modeling is actually done. The only thing that is left to do is to create a hole over here so that if you are printing it, you need to make sure that you actually get, a hole in the plants. I mean, in the planter so that the water does not exceed and it can actually drain out from this particular hole. So it is pretty simple. We actually know how we are going to be doing it. I am just going to add a cylinder and this cylinder needs to come out of both of the ways. And now we're just going to add the boolean, selecting this, add a boolean. And then the object is going to be the cylinder and we don't even have to check it. We can just apply it and I know that it is going to work because it is just a simple boolean. And yeah, voila, we basically have our modeling done. I guess in the next video, we are actually going to be making it 3D printable ready because right now these objects are different. This object is different. This object is different. And yeah, we are going to make it 3D print ready in the next one. So for this, we are actually done. Bye bye.